Welcome to the You Heard podcast, your go-to for Miami Hurricanes football. Ben, Joe, Hope, and CB break down recruiting, hot topics, and game day action.
All right, we'll talk about it at the end.
No, let's talk about this right now because you completely flipped it on me now.
I hate you for knowing this, bro. This man knew the brand, dog.
Okay, I don't appreciate that. I'm saying, like, I mean,
what are we talking about, son?
Get into the topic. I felt
Keep it in a buck.
Let me close these curtains real quick.
You heard. I know you see.
I have one question.
No,
Can I start with a question?
No,
Right.
man.
Can I
I
start
need
with
to
a
know
question?
greeting. Hi, how are you? How's
Can I start with a question, please?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes,
Joe.
Eminem.
Who the fuck is this in my lower left-hand corner? Who the hell is this
Other side.
on my
Other side.
screen right here?
Other
Other
side.
side.
I
Who is
can't.
that?
That guy.
Other side.
Over there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
It's flipped.
who
It's
is
flipped.
that, son? How did he get in? Who let him in, son?
I mean, listen, we got to work on our security, man. We just
Where's the
let
bouncer?
anybody in the house.
Folk, where are you, son?
Son,
I'm busy.
It's a pound and a half of Sour Patch Kids that this guy has. That's how
That's
he shows up.
That's the only bag you should be getting of Sour Patch Kids. When you get sour, that's the only bag you should ever get.
What does that say on the bottom? Does that say kid? Sour Patch Kids in a different
Yeah,
color.
man.
Okay. Yeah.
Soft and chewy candy. Soft
They
and chewy
needed,
candy.
they needed to say that. They needed to tell people it was soft and chewy.
They had to specify that it was candy and not actually.
What they need? Why would they need to specify that? Yo, that's such a
You want to see the wildest part about this?
What happened?
There's a recipe for Sour Patch Kids cookies.
And
No.
you haven't tried it yet?
I mean, I'm weird, but I don't have a death wish.
Oh, you don't?
What?
Are you sure?
After all these shit,
Are you sure?
are you?
Are we what? We telling
Wait.
lies? We
Set
telling
myself up for that
happen?
one.
When did that happen?
Well, yeah,
What?
Set myself up for that one.
he's had a whole
Right into
lifestyle change apparently.
I stared down that
Month-
receiver and threw that interception, boy, didn't I?
I mean,
You locked in,
dead
boy.
in the eye.
You locked in. They threw zone at you. You ain't know what to do.
I pulled a TBD there. I knew where I was going with the
He
ball.
said he's an X down there somewhere.
I knew I was going with the ball pre-snap. Left side, baby. Hitch. It'll be open.
Just hopeful.
Oh my
Just
god.
hopeful out there, man.
What's going on, man? I miss you, CB, man. I miss y'all, man. What's going on, man?
Yeah, man. It feels like forever since we done this.
Yeah, man. We had the whole crew back. What's happening? What is happening?
Yeah, man.
It must be a game. It must be a game. Saturday.
Nah, you think so? You think the
Must
season
be a
coming?
game coming up.
Canes
man.
by 20. I'm not worried about that.
Real quick, I just wanna, you know what I'm saying? I told y'all. I got Juan
Because
Manuel.
we play in about a few days, I will plead the fifth on anything that has to do with that team. Karma is real. I ain't saying nothing until after our game.
Yeah,
I will.
I think
will
my
talk.
people just picked them because they hate Florida State. I don't think it
Mhm.
was any analysis into it. It's
No,
just
there was though.
I hate those
I-
guys, and that's it. I want them to lose.
Yeah.
I feel like
So
we could go
we-
back to the tape. I should have brought my own receipts. Is what I should have done because I told you when you talk
Damn.
all off season and you crying about 13-0, you crying about your best season. It's going to hit you, dog. It's going to hit you. I don't like real quick. We're gonna spend 6 minutes and 33 seconds on this because that's how long GT had the ball to end the game. No, yeah. Listen,
Ugly.
it was bad. Like it wasn't that they lost by a field goal. It's how they looked. They looked soft, yo. Like you took a month. Like the last time you took the field, you lost by 60, and you come out and look softer. Best defensive line in the country. I'm just telling you what they said. Now look, and their creators are going at each other. Like, oh, we know these people said that they looked all good. I was like, yeah, the defensive line probably looked great against that offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Like in practice, it looks fantastic.
Apparently, they're
Ooh.
suing their media. They're suing their media coverage now. So for all the
Yeah,
lies
they're
they
suing
told.
them.
Did you see that
It
crap?
just, yeah,
Jeez.
son, it was. I don't look like CB said. Karma's real, and they just didn't look. Jordan Travis needs a statue up there. I'm gonna say that. Jordan Travis needs a statue because it was ridiculous the difference.
No,
Those
we
games
They
they
did
lost.
it all. They did it
we said
all
it
on
before
last year's
too. How
season.
much he had to run around just to make plays because of how trash that O line was last year. If it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have done what they did. And then they get
Yeah.
the same, crock of shit that comes in this year. And look what happened. They don't have a quarterback back there that can move around and make plays. They got somebody throwing 10-yard passes 9 yards too short.
That ESPN Petty graphic was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life, yo. That was like 12 or 14.1 yards passing the air or something crazy like that. I've never seen that graphic in the history of my life.
Air yards, yeah.
How do you get that
air
stat?
yards.
Like, how does that? How do you even get that stat?
Who took the time to be
How-
like, oh, he
how-
only threw it 6 inches?
Yeah, it's essentially actually counting for time the ball was in the air before it hit a receiver. So, if you throw a bunch of bubbles, that's if
Like
you
half a
actually
second.
count up the amount of yardage that the ball was actually in flight for, he didn't really. He
And I think
handed the
that's
ball off.
forward. That's forward passes, right? Because I don't think
Yeah.
bubble actually count.
Because a lateral
Mhm.
wouldn't count for that.
Yeah.
There'd be a run, right? Like,
The only thing I want them to admit is there was like this trend for the past, and it started maybe 2 weeks ago, where they were all coming on Twitter and saying that like they always wanted DJU over Cam Ward, and they were happy they didn't get Cam Ward. The only thing I want is for that to stop. Like, lose in silence or out loud. I don't care. I just don't want you in my mentions. But I want that lie to stop. Like, it's time to at least admit, like, come on, even Canes fans, even Gator fans, like, if we hadn't made that wrong choice by now, we'd all be on Twitter like, man, we should have got homeboy. Like, at least admit that he was what was left. Not what y'all
for 8:30.
wanted.
They're waiting for the Florida game. They're waiting to see what happens.
They're being real quiet now.
They're gonna be right on the. They're gonna be on the
But
damn.
In Cam's defense, I feel like you can give Cam more time. This is the same DJU we've been seeing. If Cam has a bad game, it's like, oh, it's the first time we've seen Cam look horrible, because he never looked horrible at Washington. He always looked like a diamond in the rough, or a big shark in a small pond. So you can give him let's see what he does with a couple games under his belt. But for DJU, and I'm not even trying to kick him while he's down, but let's keep it a buck. This is the same DJU we've been seeing. People were more so tuning in to see if he was going to be better. We just saw more of the same.
It was
Just
never
why we're all
anything
confused.
special. It was never anything special.
Just the arm
Like,
strength.
I never thought they wanted him to be special. I always thought they just wanted him to be a game manager and rely on the running game. I mean, just because he doesn't turn the ball over, like he doesn't turn the ball over at a high clip and any of those things. Obviously, because he doesn't throw the ball forward, which is a whole nother indictment. But those 2 passes that he had on 4th down, I thought, keeping it a buck, I thought those passes looked solid. They just didn't ask him to do that because Mike don't trust him. You know what I mean? Mike
is a hose.
And I think that was the mistake, man. I think if we're saying DJU looks decent, he looks decent when he can throw the ball. Like when you put 4 wide out there and you spread and he can sit and throw the ball. All that ball managing, play action, and all that shit. He don't want to do all that. Man. Cool.
He's a gunslinger.
Yeah, right.
You got to know what you get when you get a gunslinger. You got to know, like, I'm letting him put the ball up 40 times, and
yes, if we're gonna lose,
3 of those may be picks, fam.
Yeah.
I'm on either. He either gonna throw us in or out of game. That's what a gunslinger is. You try to turn a gunslinger into a game manager, then when you need him to turn up, he's not in rhythm.
Yeah.
And he can't now just start bombing because he's not in rhythm. They're used to constantly, like a shooting guard, like a shooting point guard. You're gonna have to let him put up his numbers. You can't tell Steph Curry, okay, you only get 10 shots a game. That's it. And then in the 4th quarter, you're like, okay, we got to throw that away. I need you to start chucking them up. Like, nah, I need to be in rhythm. I'm used to shots. So I think they're just going to have to adjust, bro. They're going to have to adjust the offense a little bit.
They are.
Real quick, Chris Sullivan says, "I'm keeping quiet until after the season." Now we can talk Saturday night. You know, what I mean, like we can start to talk. We can talk about the Florida game.
I like
FLA Trucker says, first of all, thank you for coming to the channel. First time commenter. Kevin DJU didn't go to the league for a reason.
Well, they're also they don't have the same road here. One of them was not a 5-star quarterback coming in that was highly touted to only play 3 years and go to the league. The other one was a dude nobody knew of who was an athlete who had to make himself into a household name. They're not the same at all. Cam Ward didn't go to the league last year because he still didn't have the exposure, even with the year he had. Same thing with, now we could say, you know, it didn't work out for Sam Hartman, but Sam Hartman felt like he needed a year in the spotlight. Cam Ward felt like he needed a year in the spotlight. DJU has always been in the spotlight, going all the way back to Elite 11. So no, they're
also
very
the quarterback class was very, very strong. Like it ain't like he was gonna sneak into there, boy. But this year, he should be one of them ones this year.
Because Cam's biggest criticism would have been, all right, but you haven't really done it against anybody in a dime Pac-12. You know what I'm saying? You looked good on a bad team is what scouts and analysts were going to say about him. That's never been a problem for DJU. He's with the Clemson. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was during. I know some people don't remember back in the day. Back then, Clemson was supposed to carry on the legacy. People forget about it. We're in the here and the now, but he was supposed to carry the legacy.
I feel like we see all the comments, man. Stay in the chat. FSU has personnel. FSU has this. This is the last thing we're going to say about this. What my biggest question mark is, and it was going into the season last year, the transfer portal thing, right? When you rely on it so heavy, when you don't have any depth past your first four, that is supposed to be the best defensive line in the country, and there's nothing you could do to throw any kind of wrinkle or variation to that. Your offensive line is still trash. Jordan Travis gave his leg up because that, I'm saying, that offensive line couldn't do nothing for that. That's a real problem that they got up there. It's not any, you can only do so much if your trenches ain't right. So that's, you know what I'm saying, that's off the, they're 0-1, and in the conference they might be looking at 0-2 because they play Boston College this week, and Boston College gave them fits last year, and they don't got Jordan
College, buddy.
and they don't got Jordan Travis to bail them out, man. So DJU ain't that. Regardless, he can't run around like that. He can't run around like that.
They need to be a little bit of Boston College. I'm a butcher here. Castellanos, or however you say his last name, no disrespect. He a problem, bro. And that defensive line, not just not getting penetration, they're very undisciplined as well. And yes, King can make you pay for it on the ground, which he did. Thomas can destroy you with that kind of lack of discipline.
He gonna make you pay
like
interest, brother.
Yeah, King makes you pay by ripping off a 16-yarder. Thomas took that thing to the crib. It's without just trying to trash them. If you're just looking at the outside, unbiased, there's some things to worry about with that FSU team. But it's still early too, and you know we got our own problems.
Yeah, they lost. Fuck them. They lost. Congrats.
They lost. We off that.
Yeah. They lost. SMU won now. Boy,
that was a close game.
That was a close game against the Bad Boy.
That was
a close game.
Bashar looked good at running back. Yeah.
That's where he should have been the whole time. All right. So we had some South Florida high school games this past weekend. You know what I'm saying? Big time commits to the U. Shout out to Luke Nickel. Absolutely balling. His offense is crazy. Like that, you know what I'm saying? They got some killers over there. You got, you know what I'm saying?
TJ Lester at running back. That game.
Good.
That game was cool because it was advertised for as every poster, every graphic was Diabell and Nickel, who both played good games, but who showed up and over that football game. Yeah, one of them better than the other. But who showed up and took over that game was the running backs.
That hurt him. That hurt him to say. That hurt him. You could tell. That hurt him.
We talked about that in the chat. It is what it is. Yeah. Players play good, players bad. I don't shy from that. But the run really showed up and took over. Like and I wish football back to bell cow running backs, bro. Them old Wisconsin style running backs, and you got that from that game. You got TJ and Byron, who controlled that game over 20 carries apiece. Just it was a real fun slugfest to watch back. But that Milton offense just has too many weapons, bro. It's
They
just
look good.
too
They
many
look
weapons.
good, man. So
Hey,
they had
who's
that
the
one.
where's the other tight end, right? So you had Ryan.
Ethan's committed. Ethan Barr committed to Georgia. Number
like
one,
him.
their tight end.
I like him.
Yeah,
I like
hey,
Ryan, I don't want to talk about
bad.
kids, but number one is that dude.
Yeah.
Ryan was cool.
Yeah.
Number
Yeah,
one.
Solid.
but they're different type of players too. They're way
Yeah.
different players. Like Barber is just an athlete. He
Yeah.
just he can
I like
he
him.
do a little bit of everything. Yeah. Yeah, he was going crazy. He was.
All right, so South Florida had a bad weekend, played big time games, but it is crazy seeing all these high schools travel the way they travel, man. They like it's like semi pro now, so it's crazy. Yeah, so
Yeah,
Let's
cool.
just-
man,
just
folks,
say
Especially
Lakeland beat Central. So shout out Polk County.
yeah, you had it.
that's huge.
You got
That
it.
was huge too.
That's big time.
Although
That's
I don't know if they should have because no, they should have because now out of bounds on that play. I think everyone freaked out about it. But if you watch it, if you sit down and you watch it, he's clearly out of bounds.
Oh, okay.
He's clearly. I can see how you can tell, but it literally I just did it on Twitter where you just slow the play speed down. You can
That
pause
Nation
it
play
and
you talking
clearly
about?
see. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You can pause it and clearly see he's out of bounds. Now I can get in real time how that don't look like it. So it looks like you got screwed. I completely understand. We all play sports. We know sometimes in real time.
Yeah, in that moment,
shit
yeah.
looks how it looks. But
Yeah.
if you slow it down, just Twitter, you don't even need a TV. I did it on my phone, and you can clearly see people were screenshotting.
You can clearly see it.
So that's huge. Yeah, that's absolutely huge. It was cool. Yeah, Lopez. He really showed out. Kid Tyler Chance, their new quarterback. He's different. Need to eat a little bit, but he looked really really good. Really
our 26 quarterback
for
needs to eat a little bit too. They're still young. They're still young out there.
Yeah, but they're still young. They haven't even hit their growth spurts yet. You know what I mean? Both of them.
For real.
I think both
Still
are growing to do. But man, to be putting that first big start on ESPN, that's rough for.
I mean, that's why you go there, though, right? You go there for the exposure. You go there. You go there to be.
But that's a different kind of pressure.
Hey, CB, you want to
hats
switch
off
out
to
your
all of
internet,
them.
bro? Because you're a little bit like choppy.
Let's see.
Like I'm seeing you here and there. I know the struggle, CB. So I know what it's like. So I just want to make sure you get money over there.
We don't in the boondocks, Ben.
No, everybody knows. Y'all seen the picture. I know you seen the picture. All right, that's high school recruiting. That's your recap on high school recruiting. We're not high school football. It's back. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the SMU players doing the thing. Jafar Harvey getting that safety. Brashard Smith did his thing. Jalen Knight, the whole squad, man. We don't root for anybody to fail ever, man. So everybody got to make their own path. Now, fellas, we are 6 days away for when it matters. Because I don't give a. We talked about the other teams. This is it, yo. This going to the swamp. What are you 6 days out? I know we've been talking about this shit ad nauseum. Let's start with you, Poke. What are your thoughts going into this game? After finally watching real football again, what are your thoughts going into the swamp? Are you worried about the possible precipitation? Any overcast? Is there humidity concerns on your part? Just kind of give me a weather report and tell me what you think. Because it's a tough thing for Florida kids to play in Florida. So I need you to tell me, like, what are your concerns going into this game and how the weather's going to impact it?
You know, honestly, I really don't know why we're even playing the game because, these, Miami kids, I don't think they're going to be able to handle these temperatures and humidity. So I don't know why they're even going forward with the game. I mean, just
hilarious.
Call it what it is and move on to FAMU. I mean, just go ahead and concede now and, be done with it because there's no way Miami kids can handle the heat and the humidity in Gainesville.
I've heard rumors that they might actually cancel FAMU as well because it's more Florida kids playing against Florida kids. I don't know. Maybe we should really consider
Makes sense.
not playing the
Makes
season.
perfect sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Stupid ass shit. Fucking morons. All right, now for real. All right, Poke. For real. What are your thoughts going into this game, man? How you feeling about it?
No, I think the whole thing with the Swamp is the only thing they have to attach themselves to. Because issues they have on their offensive line aren't going to be able to be fixed in a week with what we got on our defensive line, honestly. They might have a few playmakers, on the outside, in the receiver room, but that's all dependent on if Mertz can throw a deep ball, if he has the time to do it. And I just don't, with their offensive line, I just don't see him getting the time he needs to throw the ball deep. And if it does go deep, it's going to be on, hey, somebody's got to be down there. Let me check it up and see what happens. But I just don't see it. Their running back room, they don't have their number one guy back there. They do have some talent, in depth on the running back room, but it's going to come down to a battle in the trenches, and I think we win that hands down. To be honest with you.
All right, CB, what you got?
Canes by 20. I'm not really worried about it. I am the only thing that anytime you play any kind of Florida school is speed. So there's that they can obviously match our speed, but an away game to start the season out, there's always some trepidation. But I've said this all offseason. There's no time for trepidation with the kind of goals this roster has with what we put together. So it needs to be Canes by 20. It needs to be a convincing win. I don't want to survive this. I want to beat this team.
CB jumping back in using words like trepidation.
Yeah, he's coming in hot.
Welcome back to the show, son.
I just don't. I just yeah, man. I spent a couple weeks with T.I. No, I know everybody don't agree with me on this, but I don't think you can start out the season without. Okay.
You gotta show
This one of false prophet saints.
I respect it. I respect it. He's here. I've got to respect him. I've noticed most Florida fans aren't as wild as their analysts. So I'll say that. I'll give them that credit. Not all.
We gotta handle business. And look, the 2-prong running game, I think we'll be able to handle any kind of style of defense we play this year. If it needs to be a situation where we need to grind it out, we got the backs for it. If we got an offense that's going to challenge us on the other side, I feel like we have the weapons on the outside to at least give somebody a challenge in a slugfest and a shootout. Cam Ward putting it up 60 times a game, I think would be successful against any other offense, depending on how bad our defense is bending. I don't expect Gary's defense to be that bad. So I think we're set up for different situations. Last year, we were not set up to play from behind. I think this is a team that if we need to grind it out, if we got potent offense on the other side, we need to keep off the field. Then Damian and Fletcher work. I don't think this Gators defense is going to offer that big of a defensive challenge. Offenses do struggle earlier in the season, so there is going to be that. It is a new quarterback. But like I said, if this team wants to win 10 games and be considered for a college football playoff, they need to win this game by 20 points. That's how I feel. I felt like that this entire offseason. I'm not backing out from that.
Oh, here we go. This is no wonder you're here. Hold on, wait, wrong one. No wonder I should have known by the capital FLA, because that's not how you would ever put Florida. It's just FL. No wonder you're here. All right, Jean Shorts. Appreciate the comment, Crocs. Joey, what you got, man?
Is that somebody we know or something?
No, absolutely not. He's a Florida fan.
Ben just
no, he's definitely
fired that man up.
Hypothetical saying that you're not worried about Florida. That's a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, he's not worried about Miami. He says we. You playing, fam?
Florida, yeah.
You in the
Florida fans
game?
not worried. Okay, that's a hypothetical. Come on.
That's a hypothetical. Come on, fam. Come on.
Yeah.
Y'all talk
Yeah.
about weather patterns.
They're worried about their entire program right. Never mind.
Yeah, we're not. Let's not let a young Gator sidetrack us. Joey, what you got?
It's the same, right? New year, same trenches, right? Trenches control. We saw the first week. Trenches control the game, man. So
Yes.
whoever has the best trenches, whoever has the strongest trenches, is going to win. And I think, we all believe, and I think the analysts and everybody who watches football all believes that one team has the better trenches.
Better trenches.
On both sides. Right? So as long as we clean up, the penalties, the mental errors.
Yep.
I think we'll be fine. Man. So looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it.
Can't wait.
As long as yeah, that's really it, man. Trenches, dominate, take care of your business. No mental errors, few mental errors, and let's ride, man. We'll be all right.
Yeah. So a couple of things, right? I want to give a shout out. I give credit. You know what I mean? We're gonna give a shout out to Jacob Redden. He was on Through the Smoke. He works for Swamp 247. Gives actual analysis, just kind of reports, doesn't do any wild shit. So shout out to him, man. They're still worried about the right side of their line. Still, right? Like had 2 transfer windows, recruiting classes, still don't have their right side locked in. They think they're gonna be better. Haven't shown that. They're thinking in all hypotheticals. Look, the concerns about the swamp and the noise concerns me with the safeties. As far as communication, I'm sure they've worked on that, right? But as far as what they have on that O-line, there's nothing that concerns me. They're gonna do, they're gonna try to offset our speed with draws and screens and shit like that. And the linebackers are gonna have to be there. Luckily, we got a guy back there in Kiko that's gonna be right around, and the safeties are gonna play up because you know how Gidrick coaches them up. I expect the game to be closer. It's gonna be a battle, you know what I mean? But I don't see how they can hang. Like, they have to hope for everything to go right. And I think Miami has like what's the word I'm looking for here? Like, they have with the Texas A&M game last year, right? They have a wider range of, like, a couple more things can go wrong and they can still bounce back from it. I don't think Florida has that. I just don't think Florida has that ability to do, because they just, when you have a game man, it's all about timing, right? I don't see him as like the guy that makes the play. He just manages the game. The way I see Graham Mertz, I just don't see it. I don't care if it's a second year in the system. I think he's reached his ceiling. He's gonna look great next year, possibly holding holding him down as a pharmaceutical rep or whatever career he chooses. But I just don't see them being that concerned. Now, if the swamp can overcome or overwhelm you and all that shit, yeah, but I don't think the team can. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they have enough in the trenches because they haven't addressed it. They haven't gotten bigger. Their linebackers are questionable. Their safeties, like, the thing we talk about is, like, they have returning production, but how good is it if you still have the same teachers? You know what I'm saying? Like, the secondary didn't get better throughout the season. Defensive line didn't get better throughout the season. Linebackers didn't get better throughout the season last year. So you're hoping they get better in the offseason. I just don't see it. Yeah, so I think Canes by like 10, say like 31-21 in that one. I just don't see them holding it down. I see I'm thankful the Florida fans are going back and forth and the chat is handling that, because I'm not even gonna address it. But I just think the trenches, man. That's why this up in the graphic. I think the trenches are gonna be the difference on both sides of the ball. Because them boys got bullied yesterday, man. Them boys got absolutely bullied by, if you look at Georgia Tech's offensive line, those aren't big guys. Like 280, 290, you know what I mean? Like 6'1", 6'2" type guys, speed packages. So we'll see. We'll see. Saturday at 3:30, we find out if your crowd. What I was gonna say was, we're gonna find out how loud you can be and how quiet you can get, because both those things are gonna happen. So we'll see. 31-21.
Can't wait,
That's it.
baby.
That's it, man. That's it, man. I can't wait, dude. Like I don't like watching football yesterday. Was just like, oh, this is cool, but it's not the Canes. Like it ain't. You know, what I mean, that's when football season starts for me. That's what he didn't, fam. He didn't play. He played against. I'm not doing. Thank you for the comments, man. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and I will be right back here on Sunday. And the first 45 to 55 minutes of me just laughing about you thinking how you had trenches, because it's just trenches, fam. You have skill position. I'll give you that. Your trenches ain't gonna be enough, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just
where's CB dropped off?
I think his Sour Patch Kids affected his internet. I think that's what happened.
I think he's trying to get his connection figured out.
Yeah, it was glitchy there, so we'll see. All right, man. Let's get into this Caneswear ad, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Oh man, yo, the chat is going crazy.
Nashawn Montgomery just committed to Florida.
Oh, what?
Mm-hmm.
Nashawn just committed to Florida.
Nashawn just committed to Florida.
Yeah. Now they can't read. CB's internet is bugging, yo. We'll get him fixed up when he comes back in. Here we go. We ready? You good, CB?
My internet's fine. I'm just mad.
They already know.
Oh, you had to jump out. He already knew. Real quick, first of all, FLA trucker, if you do drive on the road, my brother, be safe. All jokes aside, because you know what I'm saying ain't nothing like it. But yeah, he's a good pickup, but you're gonna have a whole new coaching staff next year.
Yeah, you gotta hold on. You gotta hold on until December, man. People still don't understand how recruiting works. I don't
really
understand.
Really does. Also, didn't y'all just get flipped out of your mind last year? You went from like 3 to like 30th. So let's calm down about being hyped up.
Man, why people do this to themselves every summer, dog.
Reading comprehension is a motherfucker, bro. It's like
every summer.
National Signing Day is a thing.
Hey,
every
shout out
summer.
to Lake Mary Little League. Just won the Little League World Series with a walk-off over Chinese Taipei. Lake Mary, Florida, baby.
Hey.
First time Florida brought home the Little League World Series. They were 0-8.
Nice.
That one.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up.
In extra innings too, by the way.
Nice.
Who'd they beat? China, Taipei? Like there's always China, right?
Yeah, Chinese Taipei. 2-1.
Yeah. Ah, damn, pitching.
Wow.
Was Daniel Monte pitching?
No.
He still got eligibility left?
He might. Who knows?
Hey, man, we got 174 people in the chat. We got 174 people in the chat. Make sure, please hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe, comment, leave us reviews wherever you get your podcasts. We are Canes Delusional Homers. You know what I'm saying? We ride with these Canes to the day we die. We don't change for nothing. Let me make sure I put this up. Bam. Make sure y'all check out the website. Right there, scan that QR code. Support.
We might have a drop this week. We may drop something this week.
We're working on something.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Yep. Appreciate y'all, man. All right. We've chopped down Florida enough. Y'all can go back and watch all the reviews. We'll talk about them again on Wednesday because it'll be 3 days out. Now, overview for the season. Right? CB's trying to figure out his internet. Overview for the season. Poke, what are your thoughts? What are your concerns before we get to the awards? When you look at our 12 games, what games worry you? What games, how are you looking at it?
Really, the only... I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm not worried, But I mean, I am still concerned going into the Florida game, just because it's game one. You know, we don't. It's always hard to gauge the temperature on the opening game, especially when you're playing, you know, Florida at a rivalry game at their place. You know, those things do come into effect. So you always have to have concerns like, how are the players going to be able to handle that type of adversity?
Mm-hmm.
As far as like the play style and, you know, carrying out how they're going to play, I'm not concerned about that. I'm just concerned about how they're going to handle the environment. You know, because you're let's be real, it's going to be a hostile environment.
Absolutely,
It's the swamp. You know,
mm-hmm.
weather reports aside, it's the swamp regardless.
Yep.
The only other one that I really have big concern is the Louisville game. I mean, Louisville's always been, you know, a tough team to go for whatever reason. We're coming off a bye, so that
bad for us usually.
But you know, as the season progresses, I might feel differently, seeing how we perform up until that point. Those concerns might be alleviated by then. I don't know, but as of right now,
unknowns, right? It's all the unknowns.
Yeah, as of right now, those would be my concerns.
Okay, Joey.
Yeah, man, same thing. I'm really, you know, injuries, shit pops up. Like a lot of things have to go right for you to win 10, 11, 12 games, right? A lot of things,
Everything.
man. So, yeah, injuries. That's the one thing I worry about, because they're gonna happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just how we handle the injuries, what our depth really looks like, who gets injured. You know, because I've been on record of saying if Cam Ward gets injured where he can't play, I'm worried about the season at that point, because I'm not that confident in what's in the quarterback room. As far as a game that I'm worried about, I'm not really worried about a game as much as I'm worried about a stretch, like the Cal, well,
Virginia.
that middle stretch, right? Yeah, Virginia Tech, Cal, Louisville, Florida State. That stretch can be, you know what I mean? Some people can see 2-2 out of that stretch. Some people can see 3-1. Some people could say 4-0 out of that stretch. But that's a stretch right there. You know what I mean? Virginia Tech on a Friday night, travel all the way to Cal, then from Cal to Louisville, and then back home, you know.
Yeah. Lucky we got a bye week after Cal, though.
Yeah. So that you know, that little stretch is a little something to worry about. I'm not really concerned about a particular opponent. I mean, Louisville, that's going to be a tough game because it's in Louisville. It's in October, middle October. We don't know what it's going to be like. It could be cold as shit. It could be cold, freezing rain in Louisville at that time. We don't know, you know. So, but you know, other than that, I think, like I mentioned before, I think Coach Cristobal got these boys like tapped in. I think they like when you know, you can kind of read people and listen to people and see where their mind is at. Like when I watched them interview, they look tapped in, man. It's really no playing games. It's like really not a playful tone. The only person who kind of play a little bit is Arroyo. And even when I just watched his interview recently, he's not playing. Like he's not joking, man. So it feels like these guys are tapped in, man. So yeah.
Look, it goes, man. We say this shit and you say this shit all the time. Like getting the recruits from winning programs is how you begin to change the culture, right? Because Bain hates losing. One of your leaders on defense. You know, Bain absolutely hates it. You get Zaquan hates losing, like JoJo, all these guys from winning and upper. Cole McConaughey, underrated. You get those type of players that follow. Like Bain already says, yo, he's following me around everywhere. He's like, I just want to see everything the way you do it. I'm gonna do that shit because it worked for you. So I'm just gonna copy it. I'm gonna carbon copy this shit till I'm done. Because you leaving a year before me and I'm out too. Look, the question that I have going into the season is, how do they respond when they get punched in the mouth? Because it's gonna happen, right? Like one game you might be sleepwalking, because it happens to everybody, right? Come out undefeated is incredibly fucking difficult across the country. and now you're going to have, 15, 16, 17 games possibly? So how do you come out on a Friday night against a Virginia Tech after having two, let's call it what it is, 2 bye weeks or practices against 2 other programs, and Virginia Tech is bringing in the number 1 in returning production, right? We yesterday showed you continuity matters, right? So they, you know what I'm saying, Virginia Tech bringing in all those guys or having all those guys come back, you know what I'm saying? It showed Georgia Tech showed you that could be a problem. But by that game, we'll kind of know what Virginia Tech brings to the table. Right now, everything in the offseason is hypotheticals. You have people on ESPN saying that the best D-line in the country was playing Saturday. We didn't see that. Everything anybody tells you is a hypothetical till those bullets get real. You don't nobody know shit. We all could kind of see it. We kind of see that, okay, some of these questions have been answered. We know last year, 1,000 injuries on the D-line. We pulled in 1,000 guys in recruiting and in the transfer portal. All high rated, PFF college, everything. The people who you look at for metrics did it. We ain't that smart, so it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So the pickup of Damian Martinez, to me, Cam Ward aside, is the game changer. Like him giving Fletcher spells and being the lead back and having him with this O-line, because look, there's questions if, you know what I'm saying, like we're gonna have a new left guard and we have a new center. How are they gonna mesh into it? They have a D-line that they're practicing against that they might not see a better D-line on their schedule. Not saying in the country, you know what I'm saying? On their schedule, they might not see a better D-line. But you gotta prepare for all schemes. So the Virginia Tech game still worries me on a Friday night. I just don't like that weird Friday night shit. And I'll say the Florida State game, because they might come in real injured. You know what I'm saying? They might come in 4-4. You know what I'm saying? And they make their season knocking us off. So those are the games that worry me going into this offseason, man, because Florida, look, is a tough place to play, but it ain't because of the team. Like if they played at a neutral site, I'm not worried about Florida. The swamp is a factor, 100%. Like anybody who says that isn't is lying, yo. The swamp is a factor, not because of the weather, not because of any other dumb shit. Y'all, that crowd gets crazy, but we got to make sure they stay quiet, because then it's not as tough. And then with that comes bullying them. Like, God damn, Miami just pulled out another 9-minute drive, another 7-minute drive. That's what it's got to be. So we'll see, man. We'll see with that. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait till it no longer becomes hypothetical. Yo, Florida Trucker, I want to see you back here with your stupid ass, you know what I'm saying, next Sunday, because we'll be right here. Because you sound real confident for a guy that you know you have no rights out of your line at all, fam. Like, you have a transfer and a guy who was trashed last year by your own reporters. So don't come over here with the hype. But yeah, man, I can't wait, bro. I can't wait for it to be real. I can't wait. Rock and rant. Let's freaking begin the Billy Bayou goodbye tour. Yeah. Yes, sir. He keeps mentioning one guy. Fam, he's a rotational guy. Like, you understand that? Like, do you fam, I need you to know who the fuck is on this roster before you start typing. And you better not be texting and driving, fam. If you're driving a truck, you risking people's lives out there. No see. Hey, man, it's crazy.
And didn't Tyler Barron play Florida like 2 years ago?
He busted out the stats because that's the only guy he has to talk about. So
I mean,
yeah.
but that's not the same team. Like, I don't understand what we're going at here. Like, that's not the same team.
Not the same roster, not the same anything. But again, when you latch on to one thing, it becomes the only thing you talk about. But you gotta
Mondo in the house. What up, Mondo?
Oh, snap. The OG, triple OG, what's going on, brother? Hope everything's well.
What up,
got 200
brother?
people in here, man. Appreciate y'all so much. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Got Florida fans in here. I love it. I love it, man. That's how you know college football is back, man. We go back and forth, but it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. 90,000 expected in the crowd. About 3,000 Canes fans, I think, gonna be in the building. So it's gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be a crazy experience. That TV's gonna be rocking. You know, the camera screen is gonna be shaking. It's gonna be fantastic. College football is amazing, bro. Amazing.
Love this sport, man. Love this game. Love this game.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, fellas. So I gave y'all a little bit of homework. We're doing our second annual
Oh,
Yeah. Our second annual
no, I got enough
preseason awards for the squad. We don't do awards for other teams because don't care about them, and just don't follow them enough.
It's so
don't let them go.
Baron's dick,
let 'em
man.
go.
It's ridiculous. Good Lord.
Yo, for folks to curse,
He's talking about Baron again.
Yeah, he's still talking about it. That's all he can say.
All right,
Just
come on, man.
let him go. All right, man. All right, so our preseason awards go like this. We do Coach of the Year, Offensive Freshman of the Year, Defensive Freshman of the Year, Offensive Transfers, Defensive Transfer, so on and so forth, man. So the way it works is, y'all know how we cook on You Heard. If one of us say the name that one of us wanted to say, we got to come up with another one. Was that you, Poke? my guy said that's what top flight security of the world, Craig. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Talk to him, Poke. Got tired of it. Hey, man. So you know how it is. So Coach of the Year. This could be from anybody from Mario to analyst to anybody you think that's gonna make a difference this year on the squad. Who you like? Who's your guy? You let me know. Joey, we'll go with you first.
I'm gonna go with Coach.
And why? And why?
NY? NY or NY?
And why? And why? And why? Queens, son. You know what I mean?
Wait, yeah.
Queens, stand up.
I'm gonna go with my guy, Coach Guidry, man. I feel like everybody's talking about the offense. This is year 2 in that defensive system, and I feel like in year 2, the beast gets loose. You know what I mean? So year 2, he's gonna have the defense flying around. I think there's gonna be more turnovers because I think last year that was kind of what we were missing out on. Our turnover margin was terrible. We know there are reasons for that, but we didn't.
Florida was too, though. Florida was bad too, even though they didn't turn the ball over, and Mertz had low turnover, which is weird because he had 24 and 3 or some shit.
Yeah, 2 picks,
and they had less turnovers than that. Then it's kind of weird.
But we didn't force nearly as many turnovers as we need to force. I think that's going to change this year. And I just think, everybody's year 2 in the system. You got the D-line coming in waves. Even when we were dealing with the D-line injury issue last year, we didn't have the depth to, combat that. We just didn't. Now I think we do. And I just think, Coach Guidry's going to have the D playing at a whole nother level. And it's going to look better than it did last year. So, Coach Guidry, man.
I'm with you on that. Poke, what you got? Have you calmed down? Because Poke was hot, son. If you Poke was hot. Poke is a very look. Y'all don't know Poke the way we know Poke. Poke is a very quiet, reserved, thoughtful. You know what I mean? Pensive individual. Poke read those comments and was like, "Yo, fuck this dude," and I respect it. I do.
There's one person in the Twitter world that gets me tight, like Poke was just. So I understand, but I've learned to ignore it. You know what I mean?
I'm on that cowboy Kool-Aid tonight, so you never know what you don't know. What's
all right, I respect it. Poke with G with it. What you got?
I went back and forth. I mean, there's a couple of coaches that, I went back and forth with, Coach Kevin Beard. I went Coach D. Nick, but I landed on Coach Merritt. Being able to have that connection with Martinez and bring him into that room, and then seeing how that room has transformed from years past and what we have talent-wise in the running back room now, I just think it's been completely transformative. Having Martinez there, having done what he did, Fletcher as a freshman being able to do what he did, being able to get Jordan Lyle to come on board, just the strides that these running backs have made. I mean, we saw it in the spring game with CJ, AJ coming back from injury. We saw what he could do last year. I just think you're just going to see a different type of approach with the running game going forward this year, and the type of influence he's going he's had in that room.
Mhm.
So I
I
mean,
like that.
you can put Beard, you can put D Nick right there with them, just because of what they've been able to do with their rooms respectively.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Coach Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Defensive backs coach. I think, yeah, I just think he's going to settle a lot of the nerves that we have of the unknown in that room. We talked about it on For the Culture on Wednesday, like the importance of having your assistant coach as a coordinator already know your language from your previous stop. And Marshall had that secondary was cooking over there. So to have that knowledge and that camaraderie already makes it so much easier to teach these young men. And you see the Vermont OJ Frederics of the world. I think Darryl Porter's going to take a step forward. Damari Brown, y'all already know, man. Like that, I've been telling y'all since even after the bowl game loss. I was like, that dude needs to be on the field and at the nickel immediately. The physicality he brings in there is almost like a third linebacker. Is what he's bringing to that table. So for me, it was immediately him. I was like, I hope nobody else says it. I was like, because of the importance he's going to bring to that table and that camaraderie with Guidry, man, is because you already know what Guidry does with safeties. And he's been coaching these kids up. One of your safeties played in the national title last year, and your second one's been in the oven just cooking up. You know what I'm saying? Learning from Cam. So, yeah, Coach Jackson for me, man. Easy.
Well, no, yeah, and also to be able to have the same language when it comes to defensive approach with him and Gridry. I think that like complements and that goes beyond, just being able to put a quality product out there on the field with the talent you brought in. I mean, if you can have an assistant coach with you being able to have the same, mindset, I mean,
the continuity is going to be
a world of difference.
Yeah, it's going to be like to have somebody you could cook with instead of it makes a big difference. All right, Next up, offensive freshman of the year. So it's who do you think is going to be an impact as a true freshman coming in? Our guy is back in the building. CB, you good? Who knows what's going on?
I don't know.
We'll find out together. All right, CB, who you got as your coach of the year before we move on to the next one? Okay.
I'm going with Derek Nicholson. I think the linebackers are going to be the strength of the defense. Other than the defensive ends, he's transformed that room so much, and I think we saw Wes kind of really understand his role a bit more towards the end of the year with how they used him. I think what we're going to see out of Wes and Kiko and some of the younger guys, I think D Nick's going to be my coach of the year.
I'm with that. I'm gonna real quick address this one. Angry Ape. We know.
Damn.
He's the defense's Jalen Rivers. Like he just keeps it quiet over there, handles business, and does work. Does absolute work. All right. Freshman of the year. Offensive freshman of the year. Right. So we broke it down offensive, defensive. So we're gonna cycle right back. CB, since you came in and answered the last question, we'll go with you first. I know you wrote down a whole essay. Yeah, I gave you this one. I know we talked. You made the pre-show. So I gave you this one. Who you got?
Because I tried to give multiple. I tried to write down multiple answers just in case somebody took. Josiah Trader, Justin Jefferson 2.0 himself. Do I need to say more than that, other than the fact that he should have been a 5-star? He was the number one receiver in the class for me last year because the number one receiver in the class wasn't a realistic option to me. So he was my number one, and we got him. So.
Yep. All right, Poke. That's it. Real quick. That's the shortest.
I mean,
he's ever given. I was ready for 27 minutes of just CB cooking. Just fucking going.
I don't know if my internet gonna let me cook for 27 minutes, bro. I don't think
he's got to get in and out. And then
hopscotch this bitch. Hopscotch. Poke, what you got?
I can't think of anybody else but JoJo, and I've said it from day one along with CV. He's just different, and we saw that. And I don't know. I've been singing his praises since we got him, and he came on board. He's just a difference maker, and I see him making a huge impact, not just as a freshman, but in his career at Miami.
Okay, so you breaking the rules of the show?
You can do that.
I am.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're on the intro. You can do it. Honestly,
He's
you
a
can do
rule,
whatever.
he's a rule breaker. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Just he came in.
I really don't.
Whatever's in that cup, you need to have it every show. I respect the fuck out of this. Whatever's happening right now.
Bet, I got you.
Let's make that. I mean, not all the time, because you know what I'm saying, I care about your well-being. CB don't give a fuck about his life with like a full bag of candy, but let's just be safe here. Joey, what you got?
I'm gonna rock with Elijah Lofton, man. Yeah, he's gonna be the Swiss Army knife. He's gonna be, wind up all over the field, tight end. He'll probably split out wide some. He'll be in the backfield. He'll fuck around and be a wildcat or something. I don't know, So I think Elijah Lofton will get a lot of opportunities, a lot of touches. So I think he'll get busy, man. So
all right, I'm gonna go Jordan Lyle. I think
that's it.
Yeah,
that's the only one.
I feel you could go deep there because
way to be a rule follower, Ben. Good job.
Hey, somebody's got to keep this shit together. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to keep this. Somebody got to keep this train on the tracks. Yeah, Jordan Lyle, man. I think he might have like 350 to 450 rushing yards. He's not gonna get a lot. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it. He's not gonna get all, but he's gonna get carries. He's gonna become Fletcher-esque, but he's got two monsters in front of him. And what a lesson he's gonna learn this year, bro. To have two guys with similar body types, because Jordan Lyle gonna get bigger. Like Jordan Lyle's frame, he's gonna probably put on another 10, 12, maybe 15 pounds in the next couple of years. So shout out, eat Jordan Lyle, man. I think with those two guys he's learning from, he's gonna get better and be like, he's gonna make himself more undeniable week after week. Did you just get a drop on your head? What's going on? What happened? Oh yeah.
No, this guy.
Let it go. Let it go. Let him go.
He's still
let him rock. Let him cook.
Let him cook.
He's not being disrespectful, is he?
Nah, he's not. He just talks a lot.
He's just expressing his Gatorisms and shit.
Is that a thing? Defensive freshman of the year. All right, Joey, we start with you.
I get to go first, punk motherfucker. Let's rock with Zay. Let's rock with Zaquan Patterson, man. At defensive freshman of the year. I think he gets an opportunity as well in that secondary. Secondary's young, So I think he gets some love back there. And coaches have been raving about him for a while. Again, like we talked about, Ben, he comes from a program in Chaminade that prepares you for this. They prepare you for this level. It's big time football. He's not going to go anywhere where he hasn't seen a big crowd and ESPN cameras and shit like that. So, Zaquan, I think is ready, and I think he'll make some noise this season. So, Zay.
All right, before we jump, let me answer this. Yeah, I think there's gonna be games that he's gonna play in. I think he's gonna get opportunity. It's not gonna be a lot because look who he's sharing the field with, but I think he's gonna get. I mean, like maybe 10, 15. Touches a game, and there's gonna be games that are gonna be. There's 2 games in the middle of September that are gonna be very easy for him to play in because you don't need to run a lot. So.
And J-Dub, it's the running back room, fam. Injury, they get banged up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So having that depth and having him, I think he'll get some burn.
If he's trusted, he's gonna get work. He's gonna get that work. All right, let's jump. Let's go CB.
Well,
sorry, folks. That's what you get for breaking the rules, motherfucker.
We can just blow it out.
Like there's penalties on this show.
Hey, motherfucker, Justin Scott!
He a Reese's Pieces away from actually hulking out, and you want to push him, and then you want to give it to me. Fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
Because I know he's I know he's cooking. I know he's stewing over there. So
great.
About to start throwing
flags. Cole McConaughey.
Oh, he took his son. He took his son. I'm sorry.
We're gonna pick the only white dude on the joint. So
he's out. He's
out. Can't
Poke
pick
is out.
his
How
boy.
dare you?
You're gonna
How
pick the
fucking-
only.
You know what? It's
You're
my
gonna pick
fault.
the
It's on
only
me.
white girl in the freshman
Hey,
class.
that's on me.
I
I
picked a
apologize.
penguin. I'm biased. That's my homeboy. I picked a
You motherfucker.
That's another opportunity for him to break
That's
the
on me.
rules, man. He don't
put
give a
that
fuck.
in the intro.
That's on me.
I want that clip in the damn intro now.
Oh, that's on me. That's
I
on
want-
me, Poke. I didn't know he was gonna do
Bro,
that.
I was laughing.
Swear to
I
God.
looked up and Poke's
Oh.
mustache was just coming at me.
It had like it
I was like,
answered, yo, it called you a motherfucker first. Did you notice that? Like before he
yeah,
said
it was
the mustache
terrifying.
first. Yeah, that shit
All I heard
terrible.
was dun 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 dun. I was like, the fuck?
They
Yeah,
did
Cole
Rami this
McConaughey, man. He's Ruben Bain Jr.
Mhm.
I mean, you don't break pass rushing records in Alabama without being a good pass rusher. So there's that. I'm biased. He's my friend. So there's that. But nah, I think the
My
rotation
son,
is gonna be
though.
great.
He's my son, though.
Yeah, he's
Come on.
post child.
Definitely.
But the rotation, I think, is going to be crazy. I think we've heard nothing but rants and raves. There was another DN that I'm super high on that is no longer because they were so high on this guy. Apparently, if you believe the scuttle, and he's just he's elite, man. He just needs reps. But I mean, when guys like Ruben Bain are saying like he's impressing me and doing things that I wasn't doing last year, come on, man, mic drop.
Facts.
Yeah, you
Sorry,
you got to take notice if guys like Bain are singing your praises.
Poke, I'm gonna let you cook. You could say the same one. You know what? That's on me. I shouldn't have skipped you. I snatched. You know what I'm saying? I snatched the victory from the jaws.
Oh, so now you're breaking rules?
Yeah, Poke said the same one. Yeah, so that's why I jumped him and I fucked up. It was on me.
I mean, well,
Oh,
I mean,
I'll switch then. I can switch mine.
since CB
I know
ruined my night.
He got somebody else, I'm sure. There's plenty.
No, I'm gonna go with OJ then.
Yeah.
Just because of
Oh,
what just
okay.
because of what he's done through camp up until this point and everything we're hearing about him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a guy that flew so far under the radar that
For real.
I mean, the coaching staff was able to capitalize on it and bring him in and just a diamond in the rough. I mean, if you're playing college football 25, that's a gem. You got a gem in this kid.
Yeah.
So I think he's I see him moving into the starting rotation at some point this season. So whether it's, game 1 or whether it's, week 5, I see him taking over a spot on the outside, and they're going to be able to do more with, the guys we got in that room as far as moving them around. So,
Poke, you want to answer this question from Rogelio Lozano? That's Cole is the White Bane?
The White Bane. Yeah, man. I mean, the kid's a demon. I mean, just the way he gets after it, his work ethic, what he does on the field. I mean, he's what, 6'6", 250 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Just he's a monster out there. I mean, and he moves like Bane for his size. The way he moves is you shouldn't be able to do it.
Rogelio, do yourself a favor. Go watch the last episode. I think it was the last episode of Bane's football. Bane says it himself. He's like, yo, he's following me around everywhere. He wants to learn everything I know. He's like, why wouldn't I want to do that? Like, he showed you last year proof of concept. You know what I mean? Like, he showed you what I could be. Like, why wouldn't I work out with him, eat what he eats, do everything that he does? So yeah, 100%. All right, so we had Cole McConaughey.
You don't get Alabama defensive player of the year for nothing. Just just saying that.
Yeah. Look, and he's going to be in the rotation. We're not saying that he's a start. Like, we're just saying who we think is going to be the defensive freshman of the year. Who's left? Justin Scott. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. Justin Scott for me. I think he's going to be second or third behind the senior leaders in there. In the defensive tackle room. Me and Joe saw him last year at spring game. That's the biggest 17-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying? But that kid is ridiculous, yo. He was with his whole family, and he towered over them like he was like Big Unc or some shit. And at 17, he had the work is crazy. Flipped him from Ohio State, which is what we do. So Justin Scott to me is going when he moves those people around. Man, the defensive line just is going to be stupid. Like to have that depth, who's going to be learning from a Simeon Barrow, a C.J. Clark, an Ahmad Moten? You go down the line with those guys, it gets real scary, man. So yeah, I'm gonna go Justin Scott, and not just because of the 5-star, because he showed up and willing to work. You know what I mean? Didn't show up and be like, I'm already a 5-star, cool. He showed up like, yo, I got to learn everything. I'm gonna take everybody's spot. CB, what we're gonna say?
Quick honorable mention for someone who probably won't see the field a lot just because of the depth in the room, but I think he gonna be a monster on special teams. And next year is when he really is Cameron Bobby Pruitt.
Yeah.
He's the future of that linebacker room.
Yeah, Joe's
that
kid.
The only reason I didn't mention him because I don't think
it's the depth in front of him. It's the only reason. It's the depth in front of him. That's why I said though, put that boy on the kickoff team. Yeah. Let him loosen somebody's shit.
It's kind of the same with Cole too. If that depth wasn't in front of him.
Yep. 100%.
Bro, Cole McConaughey told a story when I interviewed him that Cameron was sending players from his team back to the sideline crying because he was hitting them so hard. This is not Little League. This is varsity football. He is sending 3-star, 4-star football players crying, not because they're sad. They are in pain of how hard they just got hit by another human being.
Yeah, y'all make sure to go watch that interview with on CB's channel, man.
Crazy,
fucking crazy. That's when I was like, "Is that Poke?" I was like, "Yo, you been in Alabama?" I got questions. I was like, "Fam, you need to." Hey, I'm not gonna say that because who knows who. But yeah, I had questions about that one. All right, man. Next award for our nominees. So if first time on the channel, we got over 200 people in here, 209. Appreciate y'all so much. Make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe button. We're trying to make it to 2K before game 1. If y'all don't know how we cook, we can never say the same one unless we do. Poke is now allowed. Here we go. Poke is now allowed to say the same one because he, 1, already did it, and 2, CB stole his in the last category. So we're just, and CB is now eating Sour Patch Kids live on the show. That's what we do here. All right. Offensive transfer of the year. We're gonna Poke. You know what? Since you got disrespected the last one, we're gonna start with you.
Damn. What's the most obvious one? I mean,
you gotta say it.
Cam Ward,
the guard.
That
was last year. Never mind.
He brings something different to the table, to this team that we haven't seen since probably Derek King when he first came on board. With just the leadership qualities he possesses, the way he can control an offense, his knowledge of the game, it's going to be a huge different maker than from what we've seen the past 3-4 years.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That's Cam Ward, bro. Man, getting to meet him, like spending a couple, you know what I mean, like those 5-10 minutes with him, I feel like we've known him, yo. Like he's just so personable, like on personal, so like he just seems like a guy like, oh, I just came talk about fishing and shit. So shout out to Cam Ward. Could have been there, CB. Is all I'm saying. You could have been there. You know what I mean? You could have been in the building. Could we actually get a safety arc? Probably not.
I watch every episode. He never brings up the fact that y'all met everybody until I'm on here. I watch every episode.
Honestly,
I watch every episode. It just be Mario talk. It just be regular Mario talk.
Yeah.
I finally come back for episode. Be like, Mario, who we all met, loved, hugged, went out for ice cream. You know what I'm saying? We got matching tattoos.
I mean, always got to bring
every
it up.
episode.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it was really nice getting a tour from Coach Rumpf. I mean, and learning the history.
Rip the stitches out and just pour salt all up in there.
Oh yeah, I'm just letting you know it was a dope experience, and we plan to repeat it again next year. Because next time I take a tour, it'll exactly be like the first time. All right, Joey, what you got? Offensive transfer.
I wouldn't have the first time to compare it to, asshole.
Hey, that's on me. That's on me.
Damn. He poured salt in the wound, and then after I was healing it, he was like,
just in case. Hey, does it hurt? Does it hurt when you know what I mean?
when I do this. How does that feel when I do this?
Hey, I also realize whoever goes last in this category is fuck.
Right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh shit.
oh shit.
I'm gonna help y'all out. I'm gonna go Matt Carpenter out here. You know,
Zach, son. It's the second time.
I mean,
Zach.
okay.
I'm calling him the baseman. I'm
God
thinking of
wouldn't
the
even
third
allow
baseman,
you to tell that.
Thinking of the third baseman, man.
He's thinking of baseball. Either that, or he's mixing in Matt Lee and Zach Carpenter. And
That's
and
exactly
That's what he did.
They don't
That's
look
what he
like.
did.
Yo,
Nah,
that's
I'm
racist,
thinking of the
They don't
baseball
look alike.
dude, man. Matt Carpenter.
Oh man.
Zach, Zachy, big Zachy. You know what I mean? Yeah, he has to take over that quarterback position on the O line, man. So, that's vital. He has to earn the trust of the O line and the trust of the quarterback, and the trust of the O line coaches, man, to run that O line. So, he has valuable snaps in the Big Ten on a not so solid team where he came from, but he played solid competition. And again, the atmosphere, the stadium, whoever the fuck is cheering 90,000, that shit is not comparable to the big house or to, the shoe.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's not comparable to that shit. So he'll be fine.
Those programs win. Facts.
Yeah, he'll be just fine, man. So
CB?
Zach.
Downtown Sammy Brown. I think he's going to give us a deep threat that we need in this offense to allow X to do a little bit more of what he does with the option routes and allow maybe the tight ends to open up the middle of the field a little bit more. He allows you to kind of cook a little bit more with X too, because you can't bracket him if Sam Brown is eating on the outside. You know what I'm saying? I think we need that counterbalance. I think he'll kind of do the same thing that hey, what's up? We came. I think it'll be kind of that same thing that we got from Horton last year, where every time Horton was on the field, he provided a spark. I think we're going to see that same thing from Sam Brown this year, where he's going to be that ace in the hole, because you're preparing for so much. When you look at this offense on paper, you're going to forget about Sam Brown. And I just think he's going to have, 4 or 5 games where it's, 5 catches, 90 yards, touchdown. But I could see him just impacting a team where he don't kill the stat sheet, but it's 3 catches for 74 yards and a TD. You know what I'm saying? I think his impact is going to be noticeable.
And to touch on that, CB, it's so crucial to have a Zayhorn or Sam Brown. Like, you could rotate them out, and there isn't much of a, like, drop off. Like, right now they're battling for that third spot, right? Like, or that first spot, depending on how you look at it. And that's so big for them, yo. It's crazy.
There you go. I was about to say,
yeah,
your mic's
he was
still
talking about something. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's what it is, man. All right. So offensive traps. Thank you, Damian Martinez. All right, man. You out of here?
Yeah.
You out of here, Pope? Oh, you back? All right. Damian Martinez, man, for me. Yeah. Listen, big time. Again, the lessons being learned in that running back room, having him over Mark Fletcher and them sharing, and then learning, because Mark Fletcher must have spent some holes last year, man, and he'll learn. So we'll see what it is.
We left them for you, man. Damian Martinez. We left them for you, brother.
Appreciate that, man. All right. Was it defensive transfer of the year? Let's go, Poke.
2 in a row?
Yeah, I mean, you deserved it, bro. You lost your son in this show. So CB took him.
CB's off the rails. It's off the rails.
It went off the rails the moment you showed up to kids.
Would it be a you heard episode without it going off the rails? I mean, honestly,
no.
If we're keeping it a buck, no.
Absolutely not. What you got?
Defensive transfer, Mish Powell, sir. Mish Powell. He's going to be. I think he's going to be a big mouthpiece for the defense. Kind of taking over the secondary and kind of being somewhat of a co-general of the defense, if you will, with Kiko. I think just the experience he brings in is something we drastically needed at the safety position after losing Cam and James. So I think it's going to be huge for the secondary.
All right.
Absolutely.
Joey, you next.
Simeon Barrow, man.
Okay.
At DT. Just to shore up the DT room.
Mhm,
You got Simeon Barrow, you got CJ Clark, you got the young boys, you got Gore. Not Gore. What's the other dude? The other short dude.
Cook.
Cook.
Marley
Cook.
Cook.
That's what I'm thinking
Yeah,
about.
Marley Cook.
They're
son.
both short
Marley
and
Cook.
stubby. So
They were.
Yeah.
I confused
Same
them
type of
all
bodies.
year. Yeah, I confused
type of
them.
body
Yeah.
style.
Come on, fam. Why you do that?
they are. They're both
They
short.
are.
Both,
Well, if you see
know
them,
what I mean? So
yeah.
You could have said stocky. The adjective matters.
that's what I meant. I couldn't find the other word, the stocky
For
word.
what Stubby said.
Yeah.
You said
So
stubby.
Simeon Barrow, man, shore up that middle. Yep.
Okay. All right. CB, you were waiting for Joe not to say it. So who you waiting to say?
Elijah Alston.
Mm-hmm.
I love that pickup so much. The versatility, the ability to be everything we need in a defensive end. He can hand up, stand up, drop back in coverage. Did it quite a bit. I don't want him back there on Xavier Restrepo, but when you do need to execute his own blitz, I feel like he's better suited to the task. And he just gives Guidry a weapon, and he can move around. Somebody that he may not have to take off the field in special situations. He can just adapt what he's doing in that special situation. I just think you need a Swiss Army knife like that linebacker, defensive end hybrid, speed rusher, but it's also just as strong against the run on the edge. So you don't have to feel like he's a liability. If a team's going hurry up, you don't feel like, oh man, I got the wrong personnel out there. If you got Alston out there, you can adjust the personnel because he can stand up, he can drop back, he can do a little bit of everything.
I'm gonna because we said fuck the rules because Poke broke them. I'm gonna go a different kind of. I'm gonna go Akeem Mesidor. I don't give a fuck that he came here 3 years ago. I don't care. He was hurt all last year. Oh no, yeah. What we doing? What? He's coming back again. Had what? 7.5 sacks.
That's blatantly that's not breaking the rules. That's not
all right. So my answer to defensive freshman of the year is Ruben Bain.
That's not even close. That doesn't even.
No, but hey.
This nigga transferred 6 years ago here.
I don't care.
No, that's really skewing the lines here.
He's not part of the.
There's lines now.
He's not part of the. He's
not a transfer no more. He been here 3 years.
17 years. I don't care. I did that just to get that reaction. Right. No, Tyler Barron, fam. Tyler Barron is.
Hey, did you see what Tyler Barron did against UF?
Muted.
Though? What the
Muted.
No. Did you see what he did against UF?
But he did it. He did that against UF, so we should just shut it down. He wasn't that good.
Yeah. His career's done.
Yeah.
I
don't know why he's still. I don't know why.
By the way, I haven't seen that game, so cannot confirm or deny this.
They clipped. Florida fans clipped that shit like fan. It's one. You don't understand. Anecdotal, empirical. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Elijah.
Everybody has bad games. Throw away your whole defensive line if you think one bad game means that the player's bad. Y'all don't got worth a shit up front on that whole defensive line. They held y'all hostage and then never mind.
How many options could we could have just gone D-line for that one, man, for the transfers.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Oh, really? For real.
Just could have gone
How many stocks do I really have in stock? Never mind.
5 + 5. Defensive player of the year. Right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Offensive player of the year. Offensive player of the year. Let's start with CB.
Is Joe ever gonna get to go first?
Let Joe go first.
Well, you know what? That's my fault, Joe. I haven't been keeping track. It's a lot of
because no one's taking mine anyway.
Yeah.
Cool with it.
I got you, brother.
We got for the offensive player.
Oh, fucking A.
Thank you. He gets it. You know what I mean? Shout out to my guy. Shout out to my guy Oregon Cayman. He gets it. Fuck rules. What are we doing here?
Really bending them. I mean,
that joke was so good. We should have paid you
parameters and shit.
I'm upset he had to pay us to tell that joke. That's
you could have just left that. I'm gonna give you your money back because that's a solid ass joke.
Fucking solid.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
And a good joke is just.
No, it's fantastic. Joe, what you got, man? Oh boy, offensive player of the year.
Oh fuck, man. I'm gonna go on some other shit, man. I'm gonna say Elijah Arroyo, offensive
Okay.
player of the
Okay.
year, man. I
I
think
like it. I like it.
the tight end
Mhm.
room shows everybody what's going on. I think he has very solid tight end numbers. You know what I mean? 45, 50
Yeah.
catches for
Mhm.
900, 900 yards, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, you going big time.
yeah,
Okay.
He said solid tight end numbers and just listed round one receiver numbers.
Just, I
He
just
said
put
my
him in the
quarterback about to
rafters.
have an okay
Like real
year where
solid.
he's a game manager and throws for 4,500, 40 touchdowns, 2
His
picks.
analysis-
He gonna struggle
Joe's
and throw
subtle
2
analysis
picks.
is wild. That subtle
Yeah.
analysis is wild. He's gonna have an okay.
I can
year,
see it,
throws
though.
over for like 6,200 see You know what I mean? Like what the fuck?
That's
can
the
see it,
college
though.
football 25 game effect, right? You think that's just the regular numbers, right?
That's it.
My tight end's been winning
Hey.
Heisman and shit. You know what I mean?
He gonna have one-on-one. We know he gonna have one-on-one with mostly
Yeah.
linebackers this year. So
Absolutely.
I can see it.
So,
I can easily see
yeah, I
it.
think around the 6-8 touchdown range, 6 to 8 touchdown range, man.
The red zone problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
think so, man. So yeah, Elijah.
All right, CB, what you got?
All right. I could win last because I know y'all don't have mine. The person who's going to be our offensive player
Jacoby
of the year,
George.
Jacoby mother
I knew it.
George.
I knew it.
3.
I know my guy.
Damn it.
I know my guy.
I swear to God, I was gonna say him.
I know my
swear to
guy.
God.
All the
man.
new additions, the running backs, the receivers, the quarterback, the center, the everybody, the well, I wouldn't go that
Okay.
far, but
Yeah,
Jacoby
yeah.
George. Look, bro, he I know he heard everything. I know he had a bit of a rough offseason, not like football wise, just there was some talk that he needed to grow up. We saw some of that immaturity last year. I know he sees that, and obviously this is the money. Like you hear Joe say it all the time. Like this is when they do grow up, when it's the money year. I think they all have a reference from someone who didn't take this too serious and thought that because he was so highly touted, he didn't have to take it serious and grow up. And I think draft night was a very rude awakening, and we've already seen that person snap into the person that we always knew he could be. So I think, bro, your peers sometimes cause you to wake up faster than even your surroundings, because you just go, oh, that could easily be me if I don't tighten up. And I just think with everything that's going on with this offense, the 2 running backs, X probably going to catch another 100 balls. The tight end's coming alive. I feel like people forgetting 3 a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like even in the spring game, he went under the radar. Even though he caught a touchdown, I think people forget that he even did that. I think he
Black
went.
jersey.
He went. Yeah, which is probably why he went under the radar a little bit more. X as a complete receiver, X hands, route running, ability to understand coverage and understand how and why to get open.
Yep.
Catch radius, yak, a more complete receiver. But I mean, I'd say it's 97, 95. It's not like Jacoby George is trash. I'm not saying that compared to X, but I think as a complete receiver, it's hard to argue with X. He's a great blocker as well. He gives you everything you need from a receiver. And so does Jacoby. Just because I think one is better doesn't mean I'm putting one down. I think Jacoby's going to be our offensive player of the year because I think he's the guy that, much like Sam Brown, won't get game planned for a lot, but because he's a starting receiver, will eat a lot more. So I think a lot of times when you see RPOs, that's a guy that'll probably be free a lot more, because I don't think the guy that has X as his primary, whether it's the nickel or the safety, is going to crash down on RPOs because of the fear of, if this isn't RPO, it's probably going to X. I think you can sneak Jacoby George past a defense a little bit easier than you
last
can
year already.
X. Yeah, and we saw big lights 3 turns up. Like we saw it time and time again last year. And I think because he's not getting his name called and his name is not in the spotlight, I think that's just building a chip on his shoulder. I think we're gonna see 3 turn up in a big way. 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns.
Oh wow,
Drafted in the 4th round.
Poke, what you got?
It's hard to get drafted. That wasn't even a slight, but it's a solid one, right? 4th round receiver, you can do something with that.
I'm going with X. I'm going with X as far as offensive player of the year, just because of he's Mr. Reliable. He's the senior. He's the leader on a team. He's dependable. He's a safety valve. All of the above type of receiver, somebody you can really depend on. And I think, I'm going with X on this one.
Okay. I'm gonna go Damian Martinez. I think with all those offensive it's gonna be like if you go 3 wide, 4 wide, and you still have him back there, like you still gonna have that O line. I think he rushes. I'm gonna keep it short. I'm gonna go 1,475 yards. Yeah.
This is not your dynasty, son. This is really
no, it is
the dynasty.
No,
son.
it is though. It is. This is fam. It's
what Mark Fletcher gonna do.
Real
quick, what's Mark Fletcher numbers?
Is nobody else playing? Is there other running backs playing?
We traded CJ.
Is there anybody else playing?
Hey, hold up, man. I didn't cut anybody else off when they were talking. And I listened carefully. No, listen. I'm not saying the yards might be right. He's gonna lead the team in rushing. I think he might have like 15 touchdowns. Like he's in the red zone, he's gonna be a problem, fam. Like he's good. Yeah, listen, I believe that O line.
I think so too. Yeah,
that O line is stupid. Like we don't because that O line is dumb. Like we let's keep it a buck. It's the O line is why. Because you have
there's not a Chaney to steal touchdowns from either him or Fletcher in the red zone this year.
Exactly.
Because the other back is not a power guy, so I can see them not being subbed out as much.
You can let Fletcher chill. You can let Fletcher chill the first 4 weeks and slowly get back in the groove because he's got to get in football shape. You could slowly ramp him up towards ACC games. You know what I'm saying? So that gives Martinez four games head start basically. So I might be wrong on the numbers, but I also don't give a. You know what I mean? Like the numbers could be wrong, but I still think he's going to be the offensive player of the year.
Our tight end has 900 yards receiving. Our running back has 1,400.
This is our fantasy. Yes.
Clearly, Jacoby George didn't do shit in this offense. I've lost this in this offense.
He still has 1,100. He still has 1,100.
Hey, everybody eating. We're going to put up Hawaii numbers this year, baby.
Yeah, we're averaging numbers.
Yeah. Does anybody else remember Timmy Chang? We finna put up Timmy Chang numbers this year.
Hell yeah.
We bombing on people.
6,000 yards
passing. Colt Brennan out here, man.
Colt Brennan out here. Graham Harrell.
All right.
Nobody knows.
Was it defensive player of the year? Let's run through this quick.
Hey Ben, why don't you go first for once?
Yeah, you go first.
I'm the point guard, son. I just like chop. You know what I'm saying? I keep tossing the ball. I see what I got because I like what y'all got to say first, man. Defensive player of the year, or I'm going first. All right, defensive player.
We heard and respected all of that.
Ruben Bain.
You know what? Yes.
Talk about it.
Ruben Bain, fam.
And that's why you got to go first every once in a while. You got to get your pick every once in a while. Like
you gotta
go. It got to be a snake draft, right? We got to do it like that. Yeah, man, it's gonna be Ruben Bain. I don't think we really saw full Ruben Bain last year, man. Like he had to, he's a monster, but now he's gonna have more monsters alongside with him. It's gonna be stupid, yo. Like I go back. I have it in a gif in my head of him throwing that Clemson lineman. You know what I mean? Like I have it. That was one of the best offensive linemen he faced all year. That's just repetitive in my head. Yeah, he did it with one arm. He moved him aside like he wasn't even there, and he's gotten more in shape, more developed. 2 defensive coaches teaching him, not counting the analysts that are working with him, not counting his offseason work. Ruben Bain is just so he might also be my most valuable player. Like Ruben Bain is a fucking monster, bro.
You know what
he doesn't settle.
About?
He doesn't settle
on that play, bro. That with that Clemson offensive lineman, he's not even like on balance when he does that. Like it's not like he fired off the ball and it was like a 2-hand punch. He's like he only has 1 foot planted when he does that. He's not in like a stance that you would think this is how you throw a man. Like he literally was hand fighting, and his hand fighting happened to be strong enough that it threw man. That's insane.
He didn't want to be moved. You got moved.
Yeah, you got moved. That's insane.
You got moved. It's crazy. Crazy. All right, CB, let's go with you.
I'm gonna go a little different because I think the way we're gonna get attacked this year is because we lost our 2-star safeties. I think teams early are gonna think bombs away. They're gonna think, oh, this is gonna be the Miami secondary of the year before this past year because they didn't have the safeties in the year before this when we didn't have our strong safeties. People bombs away on us, so I think we're gonna see that early. I think we're gonna see Jaden Harris back there have a 3-4 interception year for a safety and a defense that I think is going to have a lot of sacks and a lot of pressures, a lot of incompletions. I think he'll lead our defense in interceptions because earlier in the season, they're definitely going to test the corners, and I think they're going to test the safeties deep. So I can see Jaden Harris having, in the first 6 games, 4 interceptions, and I can see him sneakily being that defensive player of the year just based on numbers alone. If he ends up with 6 picks, it's hard to say a safety that has 6 picks is not your defensive player of the year.
A lot of people are going to take that as a hot take for real. Yeah, I've heard plenty on the negative side of him, but that's
so I was either going to go him or Mish, but I feel like Mish will play a little bit in the box more than Jaden. And there's 15, and y'all know how I feel about 15. I absolutely love 15 to death. So we'll see how that happens. I would love to see all 3 of them. I think Jaden also is a bigger dude. Some of them guys don't do well in practice. They need to actually be hitting people in the game. When you that style of safety, you that style of football player, it's hard to sometimes you need to hit a motherfucker. But I just think our safeties, and I went with him because he knows the scheme a little bit more than Mish, but I think our safeties can really step up and become an unsung hero early because they're going to get tested. If I'm playing this Miami defense, I'm definitely not asking my quarterback to sit in the pocket too long with the pass rush, but what I'm definitely going to try to do early, bombs away, because I don't trust the corners early, and I wouldn't trust the safeties. If I'm a opposing OC, I said they're not proven, so I'm definitely going to go deep.
Poke, what you got?
I'm gonna go with Kiko. He's gonna be the leader. I think the overall leader on the defense, him along with Mish. But I honestly think he's gonna be the guy with the headset and his helmet for the season on the defense. So just having him there, kind of being the general on the field, I think is. I mean, what did he have last year? 6-7 sacks as a linebacker, and I don't think he's going to replicate those numbers this year just because of the talent we got on the edge and on the D line. I don't think he's going to have to do as much, but just his presence alone and what other teams are going to know about him, I think they're going to game plan around not just him but Bain as well. So I think that he's going to be critical for the defense this year.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah,
Joey?
I got Damari Brown, man, with
nice.
his move to nickel. I think he'll be able to make way more plays. I think he'll have some sacks in there. I think he'll have a lot of tackles for loss. I think he'll get his fair share of picks, just jumping, maybe jumping some flat routes or something like that. But I think we'll see a lot of big hits. I think he'll just make a larger impact being at nickel because he'll be able to do more things. So
I'm with you on that. Paulie says Wesley. And flag, I'm not going to be there, fam. I work too late on Fridays. All right, offensive player of the year, which was basically most valuable. Yeah, offensive player of the year. Let's start. Huh?
We didn't do that. We did that.
No, we started.
Did we not just do that?
We did just do that.
This is
right.
offensive most valuable player. I'm guessing it's MVP.
So the way I wanted to work this one out is like MVP to me was a keystone player. Who's the most, You know what I'm saying? Like that one guy on the offensive side and defensive side that we can't lose. That there's no replacement for.
Oh, who
You know
goes
what I'm saying?
first?
Like it's yeah. You want
Okay.
to go
So
first?
offensive.
I mean, there's like,
Go ahead,
There's going to
CB.
be a consensus though on this one.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's Cam
Yeah, just-
Ward for everybody. We,
yeah, that's it. No debate there.
we lose Cam Ward, and
It's over. Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
over.
bye-bye. Yeah.
It's
So you
it's
got
Cam
something
Ward.
different?
I tell you what. Well, hold on.
If I say something different, it'll just be to be different. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Some
I
things are
don't
undeniable.
think you can lose any of the guards
I don't-
either.
I don't think you can lose Jalen Rivers.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, Jaden's up there.
I think there'll
Yeah.
be some shot. I think
Pancake.
we're like 7-8 deep at O line. I think they could shuffle it around. It'll be some shit, you got to shuffle. But
yeah.
It'll be a drop off. Yeah.
yeah, it'll be a little bit, but I don't think it'll be crazy. But Cam Ward,
But
yeah, we
Cam,
already know what's
The
going
drop
on.
off
Cam.
after Cam for
The
players
drop-off-
that could drastically end our season if they get hurt against Florida is insane. It's Cam.
There's
and
too much of a
then
gap there.
There's a
Yeah,
massive
yeah.
gap. I mean,
Yeah.
the next
then you
most
gotta
valuable
change
player.
Then you got to
Is a running
change
back,
everything you
probably.
do on offense.
Yeah,
You got to change everything you do if Cam leaves because
Everything.
he's
I think
different.
there's only two players that happens where you have to change your scheme. It's Cam and it's one of the running backs because of how young everyone is behind them. Like if one of them gets hurt bad early, we're airing it out a lot more than we want to.
Yep.
Because you can't pound CJ. You can't give CJ 25 a game. Fletcher's still coming back off the injury. Jordan's young, so I think the only two that really. But then you can substitute
You can
that
scheme
by a
around
lot
that,
of
though.
screens. Yeah, you can do a lot of long handoffs to the receivers. You can put some of the receivers in the backfield. Elijah Lofton is a guy who can take some pressure off. So I think the drop off's not that bad. But I'd say you can't lose a running back. I don't think you can't lose a running back, but you can definitely. But there's not many with the landscape how it is now, bro. Nobody can lose their starter because no one has a 5-star behind him anymore. It's not like that no more.
Yeah, you.
And if
he
you
gets all the
do,
snaps
he's a
in practice.
freshman.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you don't have you don't have the heir apparent sitting behind him in college football no more. They're gone. He transferred
They're
whoever
gone
that heir apparent was. The heir apparents now are the freshmen. It ain't no junior that it's like, oh, if he get hurt, at least we got so and so. That ain't happening.
And yeah. All right, defensive player of the year or defensive MVP, keystone player. Who can you not lose on the defensive side? Let's go, Joe. Is that a consensus as well? Or is that debatable?
Nah, I think, bro, who can you not freaking lose?
It's a good one.
You know what? I'm gonna say DP2, man. I'm gonna say Darryl Porter.
Mhm.
There you go.
Just because of the depth, the unproven depth. I mean, you lose Darryl Porter, you'll have to move Damari outside probably
Mhm.
and pencil somebody else in at the nickel, like maybe move Mish down.
Yeah.
And
You got to
have
scheme
Jaden-
different for sure.
Yeah, Jaden and Markeith back there at the safeties, maybe. But it'll be a lot that you have to do, to figure that out. So I think DP2 and he's really the most solid corner we have. Let's keep it a buck.
Most
very
known corner we
solid.
got, yeah.
Yeah,
Most known
very
corner.
solid, man. Technically sound. He's not giving up big plays, man, and he tackles well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't think it's a stretch to say he's the best DB in the room.
No, not at
Yeah.
all. That's locked in.
I don't think it's a stretch to
Numero
say
uno.
he's the best DB. And I think much like with the Cam thing, you have to restructure your defense if DP2's hurt because ain't no safety over the top of DP2 all year. He's left on an island for the most part. Now, if you got to put a
I'm gonna
younger
go-
guy there, you got to restructure how you're doing things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump in second here. I'm gonna go Kiko. I think Kiko
See,
is just hey, listen. Leave, son. Just, I like
You did that too. But yeah, I was thinking that, but I think I'm cool
know.
if Popo
I don't
comes
know.
out.
Yeah, because
I'm cool.
Popo.
Listen, I'm cool. I'm not saying. I'm saying as far
Well,
as
shoot,
the experience and leadership, like I think Kiko, that next guy could be solid. You know what I'm saying? But right now it's Popo solid. We seen him, but like the snaps aren't there, the reps aren't there. So for me, and he's gonna have the headset. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing that's undeniable. And I don't think Popo would be the next one up. I think they'd actually move up Jalen Alderman to that middle. So you know what I mean? Like you never know who's gonna be there. And we don't know what that's like. We kind of saw him at Louisville. We don't really know. That's why there's a lot of talent in that room, but it's a lot of unknowns. So that's why I vote for Kiko. Yeah,
not a bad one.
So, Poke, what you got? We got this is it before we get up out of here. I don't see.
Yeah, I know. We were saying somebody we couldn't lose, but I think if we're just talking strictly defensive MVP, I'm going to go with Bain. I mean, I know if he does go down, we have plenty of talent and guys to fill in. But I just think just the noise he made in the college football arena as a freshman put people on notice, and I think a lot of teams are going to pay a lot of attention to him coming into this season. Like, shit, we got to stop this dude.
Yep.
And I just think with just that, all that attention he's garnered, I think just raises his the perception he has. You know what I mean? So, and just the amount of pressure he can make, and I don't know, just he's just on another level than everybody else. Just, I mean,
it's a great pick. Because you have to scheme different if he's not there.
No, for real.
You got to worry. Okay, does the quarterback have extra time now? Do I really want to put my corners in their face, bump and run, just in case they get beat off the line? Because there's no one disrupting that timing now. So if they get beat off the line, quarterback can get it out. You do have to scheme different if Ruben Bain ain't on that defense.
Because he can play inside too. Now you got to worry about Mesidor. Now you got to worry about Alston. Now you got to worry about Tyler Barron. Now you know what I mean? The list goes on and on. So,
but with all due respect, I might not be scheming for Tyler Barron. I'm scheming for Ruben Bain. I'm definitely as an offense scheming. So I think that's still a great pick because I would imagine Guidry gets to do extra things because of Bain. So without Bain, you do have to change it up a little bit. I'm gonna go.
Who's your vote?
I'm gonna go with somebody whose name hasn't been mentioned a lot today at all today. I just feel like we're a little weak there as far as depth goes. I know the young guys are there, but they're young guys. And young guys don't play in the defensive interior early. A kid who's been he's a grown ass man now. A man who's been making a lot of noise. Amon Moten. I feel like the defensive rotation is going to be huge, especially because offensive coordinators are not going to want to test our defensive end. So I feel like our defensive tackles, as far as the run game goes, are going to be the ones who get tested. Also on pass rushing situations, they're going to kick out to the outside. They're going to chip to the outside or help to the outside. So guys who can get their own pressure from the interior are going to be huge. And Moten's shown he can do that and has really opened up eyes this spring doing that exact thing. When you have a guy in the interior that can collapse the pocket from the interior, it makes it that much harder because now that guard cannot give help because he's going to have to make sure his inside hand can help if he has pressure up the middle. And if he got to slide in, because the way an offensive line does is you attack inside out. So if your biggest threat is coming from the inside, that's where you got to give your help. So now that tackle is on an absolute island with Ruben Bain or Tyler Barron. So when you lose defensive tackles that can't get a pass rush, that can't affect the passing game, that can't get up the field, that does affect your outside pass rush. On paper, it doesn't. It looks like it doesn't, but I promise you it does when that guard can get out and chip and just it creates just a situation for the offensive line where they're a little bit more comfortable when they know someone in the interior is not a direct threat as a pass rusher. So I don't think you can lose guys like that. I don't think we have a lot of that. Justin Scott is that on paper, but he's also a true freshman, and you don't want to put true freshmen in the interior too early. I think that's what we even saw that with guys like Moten, who really haven't gotten a large number of snaps because any defensive coordinator worth his salt is probably not putting kids or young men out there in the interior too early. It's a lot of what you did in high school is off your strength and athleticism. It's not off technique. You haven't really learned how to use your hands yet. You know what I mean? There is technique to being down and dirty in the middle. It's not just big fat dudes who push people. There's technique to it. And I think Moten has reached that level where his technique and his athleticism are starting to finally come together.
Match up.
So I think a guy like that, you just can't lose. We even saw last year with not Gore. Who was the other one? Branson Dean. Anytime Branson Dean was banged up or not on the field, you saw a difference in the pass rush, not because he was bullying people in the run game, but his ability to get up the field as a defensive tackle was that makes you have to commit a guard to him. That makes, you have to commit one or two players to him. Then if you blitz off that with a linebacker, I mean, you're gravy train when you can get that. That's why guys like Justin Scott become such in demand. Guys like Aiden Breland in the class last year are in such high demand. Elijah Griffin this year. When defensive tackles can change the game from the interior of the pocket, it's why Aaron Donald made all that money. It's different. It's rare. Those guys, if they do have those skills, they eventually kick outside because that's where the money is. So the fact that they stay inside, if they're impact players on a different scale, the stat sheet won't show it. It'll show it in pressures and things like that. But it makes your guys outside's life so much easier, and your linebackers as well. So I talked way too long, but it's Ahmad Moten.
It's Ahmad Moten. 9-9, double digits. Hey man, hope you guys enjoyed our second annual preseason awards. We usually don't go this long, but it's a lot of categories, man. You got to make sure we cook on it.
Episode.
The extended episode. This
bonus
content. This is what we do here. Yes, it's a bonus episode. Appreciate y'all so much for cooking with us, man. Make sure y'all hit that like, share, subscribe button. It's that You Heard podcast, man. We out.